Good evening, welcome to We're Not Really Here, full-time at Elland Road, and the score is 1-1. Here to help me get into that second half and the game as a whole, I've got Kyle Walker, Shaun Goater and Richard Dunne. Shaun, I'll begin with you. A very open-ended second half, kind of very much end-to-end. We just couldn't quite find that winning goal after conceding, which was quite a funny goal.
Yes, again, end-to-end, as you say. Initially, we said at halftime it was about that 10 minutes going into it, about finding your rhythm and then kicking on from there. Well, City had conceded to go, I think, within the 10 minutes going into the second half. And so, Leeds had equalised. So, therefore, City had to sort of gain the rhythm from that goal. And never really got into the rhythm of it. I felt that second half was a lot of Leeds. Yes, countering, but I thought Leeds had done exceptionally well because I think Leeds had energy. A couple of times I thought we looked a little leggy, but I think we just have to be pleased because I didn't think we looked fresh and energetic towards the end. And I think it'll also be with the conditions as well.
Richard, we talked about game management at half-time, but it's difficult to manage the game when Leeds come out and they're just putting the foot to the pedal. They're going all at it 100%. They wanted those 3 points and they got that goal back.
Yeah, they played well, Leeds. They're a good side and they're very positive. And we spoke earlier about them coming into the division with that confidence of doing so well last year, having so much belief in what their manager's asking of them. And we've seen it after the first 25 minutes, I felt like they started to get a foothold in the game, and certainly for maybe 30 minutes in that second half, they looked the equal of Man City at times, and it was probably a fair enough result in the end.
I think it feels like it wasn't actually. A lot of credit goes to Leeds because we were kind of just waxing superlative about them and how strong they did look. It was so open-ended, and actually I can't remember the last time, Shaun, that I've seen a team go toe-to-toe, apart from maybe Liverpool, but they do it in a slightly different way, but go toe-to-toe with City as they did particularly in that second half.
Yeah, I think Leeds, what they have is they have energy and they're brave. That's what they are. They're brave because they have players. Yes, they all get back and they retreat behind the ball, but they also have this energy to say, we're going to go forward. And they're not afraid to say, no, we're not just going to have sort of two players holding. They've got another midfielder that's going and getting in your box. And when you start getting, two midfielders in the box with wide players and a forward, all of a sudden now it creates a bit of uncertainty for the defender. So I think that's where they were brave and that's where they were asking questions. And, if it wasn't for Addison making a couple saves, it ended up being a good day. But we'll reflect and we'll think, Sterling probably could have done better on a chance or two, and it could have been another different result for City as well.
Now we've had a win, we've had a loss, and now we've had a draw to start our Premier League campaign. Richard, do you think that they'll be disappointed with today's result?
I think overlooked the whole season, 9 points, and we've got 4 out of it. You probably would have expected a better return than that. So there will be certain disappointments, but it's also a case of there's not been much of a pre-season. There's not been many pre-season games to play. So it has to start somewhere, and we've got the players. Hopefully by the time the next game comes around, they're all back up fresh, running fit and ready to go on a run. And we spoke as well about having so many games in small periods. You can change the face of how your season looks really quickly. So I don't think we should be too downhearted. Just get everyone back fit, everyone available, and it'll push on.
Shaun, the pressure is building, though, when you've got Liverpool. We saw what they did last season. Manchester City want to equal them or go one step further and beat them. You can't be dropping many points throughout the season, and that's difficult when you do it so early on.
And I think that what will happen is in-house, I think, the players, the staff will all be saying, okay, yep, we didn't get the result we wanted, but next game, we put that right. And I think once City get 2 wins and 3 wins under the belt, we're going to see the juggernaut. We're going to see, 15 games and say, this is the City that we know and that we remember. But I think preseason is a huge part because preseason allows you that base to build from. And once you have that base of 4 to 6 weeks, and I know it's like that for every team. So, no surprise when we're seeing players come on and loads of different subs, because I think that's going to be the key to the season with not having, a solid preseason. I don't know if you think differently, Dunne.
I agree. I think one of the problems what we've seen today, and Sterling will score loads of goals and throughout the season, but having that number 9, a centre forward who can actually hold a position and stay in the right place, helps the rest of the players. when it's rotational and people are moving and it's no one's real responsibility, it's very difficult for the team to have a structure to work around. So there's a few things that you need players to come back, you need players to get fitter, and I'm sure once they do settle down and get going again, it'll be back to what we expect.
There is one player, of course, that we spoke about a lot in before the game and at half-time, of course, our debutant, Ruben Diaz, record signing. I think overall, Richard, it felt like a quite a shorter performance, and he had a few one-on-one situations in that second half, and I thought defended really, really well.
I thought he was excellent, yeah. He was excellent without being spectacular, I suppose. He wasn't amazing coming forward with the ball, but that's not what we were looking for. We're looking for his defensive attributes, and in terms of that, he done everything simple. He played safely, and yeah, I think he'll be really pleased with how he's began his career.
And looking at that performance from him, Sean, he's going to want to get some games under his belt now, isn't he? He's got off to a game, not got the result that they wanted, but he's going to want to really strike up a partnership, let's say, with Laporte and get a few games together and really show everyone what they can do.
Yeah, exactly. I think he'll want to get minutes under his belt. That just solidifies his fitness. But I think the more games he plays together with Laporte, I think that understanding comes, knowing that, okay, Laporte normally steps in on these situations. I could go around and cover. Or when I step in, Laporte comes around. Or if it's Aki, I think the more minutes he gets, the more understanding he's going to get. But I think more importantly, he'd go home tonight and he'll be pleased, because when you make your debut, you want to have, first and foremost, for yourself to have a good game. And, you know, when I think and reflect on his game, I thought he was really solid. I thought he was tidy with the ball. Occasions when he stepped forward, because it was really wet surface, he sort of ran a little bit into trouble. But I think that's down to, we wouldn't play 30 games with that sort of rain. And I think that when we get on a night when it's sort of just a normal atmosphere in terms of the pitch, you'll see him step forward and making, you know, better decisions. But I thought he had a really good game, and you know, he can rest tonight and thinking I had a good debut.
We said, of course, Edison has pulled off some great saves, and speaking of the rain, it felt like, Richard, that had a part to play a little bit in Leeds' goal. Of course, they had other chances, but in the one that did hit the back of the net, it felt like the conditions were involved in that slightly, I felt.
Possibly, yeah. I think when you come out, you want to try and get a clean punch on it. A slippy ball and slippy gloves, and it slides off, and it goes down rather than up, you know. But I think they'll look at it again as an individual error for the team, and it's those that we're trying to eradicate to make sure that the team can progress eventually. But you can put a little bit of blame down to the weather tonight, but I'm sure he would have wanted to do better.
I'm clutching. Of course, there's an international break now that looms. It kind of feels like, if we even just go off kind of what you said there, Cal, you know, we've had 4 points out of the possible 9. Maybe a good time for City for that little break to come, just to have a bit of breathing space, reconvene and almost recharge a little bit, Sean.
Yes, I think that's exactly what will take place. I think Pep will look back and reflect on these games. I think he'll analyse where were conceded goals, and City will come back better, stronger, ready for a nice surging run.
Sean, thank you so much. Richard, final word from you when we do come back from that international break. Do you think there's a lot of change that needs to happen, or is it kind of just keep doing what we're doing and it will come?
Just keep doing what they've been doing, you know. They've done it for 4 or 5 years now, and it's been brilliant. It's been a real joy to watch, and this hasn't been the best start of the season that we would have wanted or expected, but it happens, and I'm sure when they are back, they'll be a lot of them will play international games. They'll have 2 more games under their belt, and they'll be fitter and fresher and ready to go.
Beautiful stuff.
We go again. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, we had a little bit of a blip, but, you know, we've had a win, we've had a loss, we've had a draw. We've seen it all. None of our predictions came in, but, you know, we go again.
We do indeed, and you'll be with us every step of the way. We're not really here. We'll be back for the next Premier League game. And remember, you can catch full highlights of the game tonight if you do want to go watch and see Diaz's debut. You can from midnight. The full game will be available to watch on City Plus. Gentlemen, an absolute pleasure as always. Kyle, thank you. Sean, massive thank you. Richard, thank you very much as well. Guys, thank you to you as well for watching. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you for City's next game. Come on, City. Have a good evening.